So Pitt, oh yeah, Yinzer crazy.
What's up, Yinzer Nation? Welcome to Yinzeritas, brought to you by YinzerCrazy.com. We know it's been a minute since you last heard from us. We are so pumped to be back in action, be back with our new special guests, and be on a weekly basis with y'all. I am Jane, and I'm here with the wonderful Taylor.
Hi, everyone.
And we are so excited for today's guest. But before we get going on our special guest today, I am so obsessed with the fact that the North Shore is back to being packed. I am so happy that there are people everywhere. The bars are popping. The stadiums are full. I mean, we've had back-to-back weekends of Pitt football and Steeler games back-to-back. How fun is that? North Shore has been amazing. I'm just so thrilled for that to be back in action.
Oh, absolutely. It's so great to have all the fans back in the stadium again. I went to a preseason game and even that was electric, so I can only imagine what it feels like to be back in. And I'm so looking forward to going to a game this year and, even just tailgating in general.
Yeah, I mean, the tailgating has been incredible. Luckily, we've really lucked out with some great weather. I mean, last weekend was beautiful, sunny, Saturday and Sunday, bouncing around all the lots. It was so much fun. Speaking of tailgates, I know one place to get all of your tailgating gear to be dressed apart. No one wants to be that person not wearing anything Pitt related. Yinzeritas has the most awesome gear. They have shirts, long sleeve, t-shirts, tank tops. They have everything you could imagine, all the right colors. I'm obsessed with it. And as one of our sponsors, if you use the coupon code YinzerCrazy, you will get 25% off your first order, which is awesome and so worth it. Check them out on their website. They have Instagram. I highly recommend it because you don't want to look like that girl not properly dressed for tailgate. So speaking of tailgates, super excited. Sunday, we will be at the best tailgate. The Yinzer Crazy crew are throwing a amazing tailgate in Gold Lot A. That's like right over by Stage AE. So you'll be able to come and meet us and hang out. Taylor, I'm pumped. Are you pumped?
Oh, I am so excited. Even with all of the Steelers injuries and everything that's happening right now, I can't think of a better way to spend a Sunday than, enjoying some drinks and some food with all of your fellow fans, getting to meet everybody over at Crazy in person finally.
Finally.
Yeah, it'll be absolutely amazing. And I can't think of any better way to spend a Sunday,
Yeah, it'll be great. I'm so excited. There'll be food and drinks and games, and there's going to be lots of guest appearances. So that'll be super exciting. Hint, hint, Jordan York, we're super excited to see you. It's been a minute. So I know I'm excited. You're excited. So it'll be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. So now let's move on to the greatest part of the show. We are so excited today. We have an exclusive interview. Former Pitt football player, former professional NFL quarterback, Tyler Palko. Welcome, Tyler, to Yinzeritas. We're very excited to talk to you today, have you on. I'm Jane, and I am your only host today, so you'll just be chatting with me. We're super excited to kind of talk about Pitt football. I know that's one, major thing that we want to discuss today, especially coming off of a tough loss last weekend to Western Michigan. Kind of want to hear your thoughts about it, what you think about the defense, how they were playing. Obviously very talented team, but last week didn't go nearly as we expected to go.
Yeah, I mean, I was part of one of those Pitt teams that lost to a MAC school. We lost to Ohio U in Athens. With all the expectations, high expectations coming this season. I mean, that's obviously a little bit of a speed bump in the way to get to where they want to go. The winning games is hard, and losing games is really easy. I think that obviously, as a Pitt fan, you hate to see the loss, and you kind of it brings back bad memories of like all these high expectations, and then, Pitt never delivers and all that narrative. But at the end of the day, you have to go with what you got, and they got beat. And, the good thing is that it wasn't an ACC game, and, they
For sure.
can still, control their own destiny. And it's a hiccup, and adversity does a lot of funny things to people and to teams. And, I think that the real testament, or, what you want to see is how they rebound from it. That's the greatest thing about team sports and about football is it's the greatest team sport ever. And, you got to have a quick turnaround, and you have to figure out a way to get back on the horse and lick your wounds. And I always operated under a 24-hour rule. You had 24 hours to be pissed. You had to be sad, cry, whatever you need to do, and you got to get back to work.
Get out of your system.
That's what I'm sure that Coach Narduzzi is talking about, and what the guys have to do. I mean, it was a bad loss. There were some really good things that came out of it. I mean, Kenny played, an unbelievable game again. But
Sure.
they let too many points up on the board. So that's back to the drawing board, and see what happens.
So, I mean, obviously they let way too many points on the board, and a lot of that was because that first down was way too easy for them to come across and catch like a slot pass right across the middle. Do you think the defense has potential to grow this season and to learn from these mistakes? Or do you think it's going to be until we see coaching change or something like that? What are your thoughts overall on, Pitt defense and how they can grow and look forward for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's really easy to get mad when you look at it. When you have all the information after the fact, it's real easy to point fingers, right? To say, wow, the defense let up too many points. But, they game planned too, right? Western Michigan found something that they could take advantage of, right? So you got to tip your cap to them. You go into a game, you have a game plan, and you execute that game plan the best that you think you know how, and you make adjustments at halftime or in between quarters or in between series. And they, seem to be one step ahead. So, I mean, one game doesn't, mean they're a terrible defense. They got out schemed, and they got out executed. I mean, you got to, the other team doesn't just sit at home saying like, well, we're just going to show up and, not game plan either. So, it's a rough loss, and obviously as a defense, your job's to keep them out of the end zone, and they didn't do their job, but. You got to figure out a way to get back into the film room and get back onto the practice field and try to get better.
For sure. So shifting gears then from defense to offense, you've mentioned Kenny Pickett, another incredible game, another incredible performance. I mean, I personally think even from last year to this year, his running game has, I've seen him run more this season, I feel like, than last season. He's very confident this season. What are your thoughts on him this season in general? If you could sit down with him and have 5-minute conversation, what would be some things you would point out or some thoughts you'd give him for the rest of the season ahead? Well,
the athletic department does a really good job. Penny Samaya, John Pelusi, and the part of the athletic department that they do with like student athletes. They actually pair some of those upperclassmen with former alumni, and actually, so I'm paired with Kenny. So
that's awesome.
We've chatted a couple of times. Try to leave him alone during the season, but he's a great kid, tough kid. I like his grind, and he kind of is the picture perfect, Pittsburgh quarterback, tough kid, works hard. And he's doing his part on the offensive side of the ball to do that. But I know that being a former quarterback, and I know Kenny's deal is that there's probably 3 or 4 series that, even though he threw 6 touchdowns and, threw for, almost 400 yards, you go back, if you're a competitor, and you probably say, man, there's 2 or 3 drives, 3 or 4 drives that we could have taken advantage of. So, I mean, that's what makes the kid great. He's doing his job. And I think that that they're in a good spot offensively. I would agree with you. He looks, more confident, but what is he, like a 6-year senior or something like that?
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you would expect that because he's, been with the same offensive coordinator in the same system, and he's it's shown right now. So he's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, he really is. And on top of everything else, he's such a great guy. He's very friendly. He's a good face of Pitt football. I really enjoy seeing him out there and all the things he does on and off the field. So to our other point, we are starting ACC play in a couple of weeks. It's on the road facing Georgia Tech down in Georgia. They've had a few games. They've played in the ACC already. They've had a couple of losses. They actually face UNC at home this weekend. So we'll see how that turns out. But how do you see Pitt going into the ACC play? What are your expectations for them? Do you think anything major needs to change before ACC play? Kind of what's your overall thoughts?
Well, I mean, like I said at the beginning, sometimes this early adversity in the season can either spark a fire underneath your ass, or it can, make you pout and finger point, and we'll see how they handle this adversity. I mean, my expectation for them is, as a fan, as an alumni, is for them to take it one game at a time. I mean, they're, Pitt football is not, Alabama yet, right? And they're not, these powerhouses yet. So, they need to take, every week, which I assume that they're doing, 1 week at a time, have great days of practice, stack great days on top of great days, and go out and compete their butts off. I mean, they don't have room to, take anybody for granted, or to not come prepared, or think that they're just going to show up and win. And I'm not saying that they are, but when you're in the position that they're in right now, where they're a really talented team that, needs to get over the hump, my expectations for them is that they're focusing on, their current opponent, and not looking ahead or behind, and competing their butts off. I mean, it's really simple when it comes into playing the game. You need to be tough. You need to handle adversity. You need to score more points than you let up, and just have fun. I mean, and that's the one thing that I do miss about, still playing, is that locker room, the with your guys, your shared experience, where you're there for one reason, right? And if they're not there to win games, I don't want you in the locker room. And I would hope that Kenny and the other leaders in that team can kind of circle the wagons and get them to understand that they're still in control of their destiny. They still can win the Big East. They can still make some really positive things happen this year, but they're in control of it. And that's, as an athlete and as a former player, what better way, can you go into a game where you're in control of quite literally your destiny? And I that's my expectations for them.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. And I think this upcoming weekend, playing New Hampshire at home, hopefully, going off your point, they'll build that momentum, and they'll build that kind of team camaraderie, excited for ACC play, and that will roll over to the next weekend, hopefully, on the road. So on the road, now, where are you located at? Where are you watching the games? Are you coming to games? What's your life like now?
So I live in Kansas City. My last couple of years in the NFL. Yeah, I played for the Chiefs. Met my wife, and we have 4 kids, and we set up shop here in Kansas City. But I run a company called Solutions 21. Our founder is from Pittsburgh. Was founded in Pittsburgh. We have offices in Phoenix, Kansas City, Nashville, Charlotte, Atlanta, Jacksonville, Tampa. Jacksonville and Tampa. So we're a consulting company that works with companies all over the world, and we do leadership development and strategic planning for companies all over the world. So we're doing coaching. I'm sure that a lot of people in Pittsburgh still can't believe that I'm not roaming the sidelines, but it's just a different type of coaching. We're really impacting people's lives on the business side of developing, world-class leaders for their company.
No, that's amazing. That's awesome. I love all the cities that you mentioned where you have offices. So I'm sure you get to travel a bunch and go to a lot of fun places. Love Nashville, another great city. So when you're at home watching the game, is that your new location on your couch with your family, or you usually going out with friends?
No. There's a small Pitt alumni club here in Kansas City that I'll attend maybe 1 or 2 games. But
Okay.
with all the kids stuff, I'm usually
Yeah.
watching it on my phone,
That's
or
awesome.
or having to kind of stream it. It being Kansas City, usually get the Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Iowa games. So
Yeah.
I'm usually in front of my computer or on my phone watching the games here in Kansas
That's
City.
awesome. That's awesome. So little ones, you have children. Are any of them playing sports yet?
Yeah, well, oldest daughter's a dancer,
Oh my
but she
gosh,
plays
fun.
basketball and soccer. So she's doing that. And the boys, I have identical twins. They're 6 and they're in soccer right
Fun.
now. And my little midget, Shaylee is 3, and she's just in dance right now. So we're
That's awesome.
we're all busy and
Yes,
taking them to all the kids activities stuff. So it's
it's
a
the best.
fun house here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we'll wrap up here just for one kind of final fun little game. We'll do a little rapid fire tailgate edition since we're talking about football. Seems a little bit appropriate, right? So we'll just go ahead and get started. Ready? Hot dogs or hamburger?
Hamburgers.
Okay, hamburger topping.
Everything that they have there, and cheese.
I love it. That's how I am. Okay, beer or cocktail?
Both. Depends. I'm not a big beer guy.
Yeah.
Found out that I had a little bit of a gluten thing.
Ooh,
So
yeah, that'll do it.
yeah.
That will definitely do it for you. Okay. Parking lot or field to tailgate?
I can honestly say that I've been to like maybe 5 tailgates in my whole entire life. I usually want to get in and watch like pregame warmups. So I just stop by, say hi, and sneak in on the field. But I'd probably say out of those 5 times, they were probably all in the parking lot. Gold lot A or Gold lot 1.
Gold lot A, gotta love it. And last but not least, flip cup or beer pong?
How about cornhole?
That's my favorite.
Cornhole, yeah.
That's my favorite.
Cornhole is probably the game. Yeah.
Some intense cornhole tournaments.
There
Well,
you go.
I appreciate your time. Thank you for chatting with us and giving us your insights on Pitt football and a little bit about where you are now. We really enjoyed chatting with you and having you. So hopefully we'll get to have you on a show again here soon.
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you for the backdrop. It makes a little nostalgia. I got a chance to see the city. Thank you.
Gotta love it with the Pittsburgh Gray.
There you go.
So Pitt, oh yeah, Yins are crazy. This is it right here, Yins are crazy. So Pitt, oh yeah, Yins are crazy. This is it right here, Yins are crazy.
I know Yins are crazy, but so am I. #1 sports site in the Berg, let me show you why. The latest stories in unbeatable podcast with your favorite athletes. You know you can't pause that.